This is CS170. I just wanted to do a very quick video to go through exam 2 sample questions. So the reason why I wanted to do this because several students have come to me asking me questions about some particular points, which I want to just review and just get everybody on the same page with it. So number one, you probably saw the announcement. This has the sample 2, exam 2. Okay, so you can have the sample questions here, and then the rubric is the answers here, which I brought up here. And so specifically, I wanted to cover this point right here because a number of people weren't clear on different things. So let me run through it. Okay, so uh, so these are conditional tests, right? So I know normally a lot of times you're seeing a conditional test, you'll see something like this, like is A double equals to Manu, right? Um, and clearly you can see up here it's not, right? So that's going to be a false here, right? But what you see maybe a little bit different that we haven't covered much in class is the fact that you put together multiple conditionals. Um, so these verticals here, you put them together, that means or, right? And you see like these right here, that means and you see this means not equal. Obviously this percentage sign is a mod function. And then the other thing that we haven't covered in class, but it's been used for the sample here, is the fact that you can get dot length is not just for arrays, right? So arrays, you can look at how many elements in the array, but in this case, they're using it for a string. So in JavaScript, when you do a string dot length, it's going to tell you how long the string is, okay? And remember, when you put two strings together with this plus sign, you're basically concatenating the two together. So here you're concatenating A and B, which is Michael and Jordan, right? So that's what A plus B means. And then the dot length just tells you how long is that string of characters, okay? So let me come back to here. So when you have an or, if you remember back to the first exam, you have like the Venn diagrams and you have the ors and the ands and the nots from your web searches. So that's what this is, right? So when you have an or, it means if any one of these conditional checks are true, the whole thing evaluates to true, right? So this is false, right? Because of this. And then this is also false, okay, but this is true. So when this evaluates to true, that means the whole thing evaluates to true, okay? So that's what happens when you have an or statement, okay? So that's why the answer is true, okay? Now let's go to this one here. So if we look at this in order, so you have B equals to 15. Is B equal to 15? No, it's not. And then by you saying and here, right, you don't even have to do this D is greater than 15, right? When you say and, that means both of those things have to be true. This side and this side has to be true when you do an and to evaluate the true. By this being false, this whole thing has to be false. Okay, so you don't even have to look at this one. Now let's look at this side. C is not equal to 23. Well, C is actually equal to 23. Okay, so this is false. So on both sides of this or, it is evaluating to false. That means this has to be false. Okay, now let's go to this one. Okay, so C mod 15. So what was C? C was 23. So C mod 15 is not equal to 0, right? So it's going to be 8, which is not equal to 0. So this is true, okay? Now, just by this happening and the fact that you have an or here, you're already done, right? One side has already evaluated the truth. So even if you don't really know what this is doing by saying that this is dot length, the fact that you already got this to be true, that means this whole thing has to be true. right? That's why this evaluates the true, right? So if you understand how and or works and what that means in terms of both sides, it actually can save you some work, right? I only have to look at this and I know that I'm already going to evaluate the true. I don't have to worry about this, okay? Now, let's go to this one. So this one, I kind of apply what I would call the PEMDAS rule, right? So parentheses first, right? So this and this, I looked at this is within parentheses, that's true, right? Because both sides are true, okay? Then once I clear this part out, then I work my way from left to right, where I look at ors and ands as the same order precedence, right? So that means I look at this, true or false. We know it's an or and one side is true, so that has to be true, right? So this whole thing evaluated to true. Then I say, okay, well, this became true, and then we have an and then this side was also true. That means this has to evaluate to true. Okay, so very quick video here. This covered one of the problems on the samples where a lot of people had questions, so I just wanted to post this video very quickly and see if people can take this in and understand it. You know, give me some feedback, pop me an email if you didn't understand what I just said, but hopefully this helps you take some notes on this, prepare for the exam. This is really under the topic of conditional tests and then doing multiple conditional tests in one statement. Okay, uh, thank you and have a good night.